Chapter 12. Dream About My Wife. 2 weeks after my dismissal from the church, I awoke in the morning after having a most fascinating dream. Much of the dream did not make sense to me, but in time the pieces began to fit together. In this dream, I was sitting in a bishop's office. The bishop and his 2 counselors were sitting across from my wife and I, and she was answering their questions. I seemed to be just an observer here and gave very little input to what was being said. On the wall, I could see a picture of the first presidency of the church. The men were not angry, but I could sense that they were very determined in their nature. Exactly what was said I do not know, nor was I able to hear, but I could very distinctly feel the intents of each person's heart. To my surprise, I did not recognize the bishop or either of the other 2 men. In fact, I was sure that I had never seen them before. As I observed what was going on, I heard the voice of my father speak to me. This is the disciplinary council which will be held for your wife. She will be excommunicated from the church within a year of your excommunication. The dream faded with all of us feeling very cordial to one another, and I woke up wondering what it could all mean. For my wife had made no waves in the church, nor did I see her causing any. I did not know these men and couldn't figure out who they were. It just didn't seem to make sense that this dream was a future event, for none of it seemed to fit. On the other hand, this dream was so vivid that I woke up my wife and explained the whole thing to her. I think that because it involved her, she found it very intriguing, but wondered how insightful it really was because her basic nature is very non-confrontational. Not trying to read more into the dream than was there, we chalked it up to just another one of those things where we finally say, "We'll see." It wasn't until 1 year later we found ourselves sitting in the exact same places I had seen in my dream. It was the 18th of July, 1995, just 364 days from my disciplinary action, and we had moved 50 miles away to a new area. As I walked with my wife over to the local church, we turned to each other and suddenly realized we had talked about this day the summer before. As we shared the remembrance of the dream, she said, "I guess we already know the outcome here, don't we?" I nodded. We walked into the church and only had a short wait before going into the bishop's office. I then recognized the men in the dream and all that was taking place. It was exactly as I had seen it. The only difference was that I couldn't feel the presence of my father there as strong as I did in the dream. This was now my opportunity to be a support to my wife as her membership was very rapidly removed from the church. Later on, I will describe the events that led to this action, but the basic underlying reason was for apostasy. When I inquired of my father why he had shown me this dream, his response was that there were many important events that had to do with my life's mission that would be shown to me, and all of them would eventually come to pass. Many of the things which I have been shown have little relevance to others' personal journeys to know God, and because of this, I am only giving you those experiences which the Spirit directs will help you, the reader, in general. The first month after my parting with the church brought more spiritual experiences and talks with my father than I had experienced previously. I must have been in one of those places in my life where my ability to hang on to the light was waning, for it seemed that at every turn I was having another spiritual growth spurt. Even looking back on it now, I wonder if I needed the extra boost, or if somehow I had experienced more faith then than I had previously, and thus the veil became thinner. Either way, I was grateful for the more clear and distinct voice of my father and for the dreams and visions that followed. During this time, my father asked me to read 1 Nephi chapter 1, verse 4. It is on the first page of the Book of Mormon and reads as follows. For it came to pass in the commencement of the first year of the reign of Zedekiah king of Judah, my father Lehi having dwelt at Jerusalem in all his days. And in that same year there came many prophets, prophesying unto the people that they must repent, or the great city Jerusalem must be destroyed. He then explained to me that what I had done by sharing with the High Council has been done by many, many others throughout history, and that even more would do the same in the future. It was their way of warning people of that which was to come. I explained that I would not feel boastful or proud about it, for there would come a day when I would see these things fulfilled, and at that time I would weep over the pain, both physical and mental, that many people would go through.